Hey, and welcome. Corrie here, coming in to do my weekly channel message. This week is, and for all those waiting for your monthlies, they're coming. Hopefully I'll get those out tomorrow. This is for January the 18th. This is being recorded through that full moon energy that's still happening. We still got that moon happening here. This is it's in the Cancer full moon. I think last night was the full moon, but we still have some of that happening as well. And so there's some strong masculine energy with this moon as well, but we're also about to shift into some other stormy weathers. Yesterday or the day before, we had that big volcano that erupted from underneath the sea. And if you're reading back, if you've watched back through some of my predictions and channel messages, I speak about, coming from the bottom of the sea, and I speak about, all these, eruptions and storms that were going to be hitting these areas. I don't think we're done yet. And so they're also coming up. So this week's energy and what I'm reading through this energy and through this moon as I'm looking out through is, I'll try to give this as much positivity as I can. I just realized my water bottle's over there. I'm like, that's my fish water. And I was filling up the fish tank. See, in the waters. So I just got this sense of diving deep into the deep sea of us. What is it that is farther down that we need to discover? We never know about our untapped potential that is hidden deep down within. And so there's a lot of things that are at the bottom of the ocean that we don't even know even exist. There's a lot of things in this world we don't know yet, that we don't even know. A lot of species, a lot of creatures that are out there that are untapped, that have never been, seen, never been known. And there's a lot of that energy of just knowing that's coming up within ourselves, of discovering a lot of things about ourselves or about those around us that truly are, I didn't know that, I didn't realize that, I didn't. So there's a lot of that sense of coming into a deeper knowing, but an ability to be able to take a stand where you need to and just say, you know what, that's enough. I don't need to dive deeper. I don't need to go that far right now. I'm not ready for that. And you can do that. You're allowed to do that for yourself. And I keep looking back and forth, and I have this sense of like, I'm looking around, this need to be protected, to be guarded, to really truly know that that you can protect your own energy and protect who you are. And just by simply wrapping that light around you, because we will be seeing a lot of disruption. We have these planets that are aligning right now, or coming back into the surface, coming back around. We have planets that head down deep, and we have darkness that becomes light. And so I feel like for some people this week, or this coming month, this next month, is that you may have made yourself like enemies, or you may have had someone believe a story or think a story about you, and then all of a sudden they're like, I don't know how much truth was that. And they find out a new truth that breaks that story that they've been telling themselves. And you may be that person. You may be on the side of that's what you come to find out. It's like, oh shit, like that wasn't right. And so we're going to be seeing a lot more of that even come out in a big scale. So I take my messages and I bring them big scale and then personal, right? So in the world energy, a lot of what you were told to believe is like, you're finally starting to see this light of day, that some of that's not really true. And a lot of things that you have been sold as truth are going to be coming out as not true. A lot is going to be unfolding. So it's also a lot of that we tell ourselves to stay in our hurt stories, to stay hating, to stay angry, whatever that may be. It's like that's also getting broken down. So there's a lot of breaking down of that energy, and it's just coming in to say, you know what, I'm sorry, I wasn't right. And so it's like backtracking, cleaning up, being sure, stop, pause, reflect before we lash out, before we speak out, or before we take such a conviction to the truth that we think we knew, or the stories that we think we knew. And so knowing that as your deeper seated truth is very important, and connecting to that, knowing, getting into that. The other thing for this week that I really want you to look at, really, really explore for you this week, for all of you, for whoever, if this resonates with you, is that deep dive, is that going into finding out more about self, that you may be a little more fascinating than the social media, that you're following. Like there may be something more fascinating within you that you're starting to discover. Like I picked up painting a few months ago, and now I'm constantly painting pictures that just come to me. I just could be randomly walking around the house, and all of a sudden I get this image of something that I have to paint, and I paint it. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be the best at it or you're going to be world renowned, but who freaking knows? But it's that untapped potential of things that allow us to be more creative and less critical, less in that energy of trying to be that, who do I have to be out there, or what do I need to do? Not so invested in somebody else's energy, but stepping into self and discovering a whole lot more about you. Like, I just feel like there's just so much more about you to learn this week. There's so much more for you to dive deep into you and to get to know those aspects of you. Say, I didn't even know that about myself. And it's because we spend so much time disassociated, disconnected from ourselves. And so when you're so far disconnected from you that you're so invested into what everyone else is doing, what everyone else got happening, that you don't look into you. And it's also taking ownership and responsibility for our own actions, for the roles that we have played, and forgiving ourselves for, where you have been, for things that you may have, disconnect, that you may not have been with your body, with self in experiences and moments. And you may have, mistreated yourself somehow, done something that's been not kind to yourself. And then recognizing, hey, I'm not really that. Why am I living in that shame story? Why am I punishing myself? Why am I there? Why is that where I am? And so letting that go, but also being able, by letting go of what anchors and ties you to one story, it frees you up to be able to discover so much more. So this is the week to just know that it is a week to go into that deep dive into possibilities, becoming curious about self, whatever there is. What more is there to explore about me? What more is there to explore about within my world? To not be so busy scrolling and listening to what everyone else has to say, and start listening to what you have to say within you that is loving, kind, gentle. And it's about being kinder, gentler, loving to each other, to the world, to those that are around us. And you know what? It's not a time for assumptions. Stop assuming that we think we know things. It's like we get a bird's eye view, or we read a piece of a story, or one part of a story, and we run with it because we want to be filled with that fear, that hate, that anger, to stay in our story, whatever it may be. And this is the week to just say, you know what? I think I'm going to explore this a little bit deeper. I think I'm going to go a little bit farther. You'd be amazed. Someone, you may be the one someone who you made it to be your enemy might turn out to be one of your bestest of friends in the future. And that's just how the energy is going to shift. The tides are turning, things are changing, and there is a big shift and change that is transpiring around us. Much love. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you next week. And I'll also get your rest of the Zodiac videos out. Much love. Bye-bye.